Hi, before you start your plsql lessons, first you need to know what is plsql. But first of all, let me talk about the name. Some people say it with plsql and some call it with plsql. It depends on how you call it easier. I will call SQL and plsql for these two names in my courses. Okay, as we know from SQL, we go and get some data from database. In SQL, we have some capabilities like choosing which type of data to get, how many records to get, or get with different names, maybe even some calculations. Of course, we can do many things more like DML, DDL operations, privileges, constraints, etc. But is it enough for us? Absolutely not. With SQL, we only can get data from database or change it. After we got our data, can we do anything else? No. We can just show it. But most of the times, we need to do some extra operations on this data. For example, we need to change it, we need to trace it, we need to add it into a file, mail it, and many things like that. Right at that time, plsql comes for our help. Let's open up the plsql now. As we can understand from the name, plsql is a procedural programming language which extends SQL capabilities. That means plsql is SQL plus procedural programming. With plsql, you can have variables, control structures, which means if structure, loops, triggers, IO operations, and many things that you can think from a programming language. But one thing is, plsql is not an object-oriented programming. It's a procedural programming type. You can use it like an object-oriented programming, but at the end, it is not. You can check the differences from the net if you wish. But you can do anything you need with plsql. And you will learn how to use them in this course deeply with all the details. How will you have plsql? plsql is created in early 90s by Oracle and it has been developing by Oracle since then. The good part is, when you install the Oracle database, that means you have a working plsql engine too. That means if you are using Oracle SQL in your computer, you can now go on writing your plsql codes. You can use plsql in many operating systems. We can think it as platform independence. Actually, since plsql works on your database, you do not care on which platform it works in. You can connect to a Linux-based database with Windows or vice versa. It is the same as SQL. Wherever you can use SQL, you can use plsql too. So the main question is, why plsql? Why not the others? For example, why should I use plsql instead of Java, .NET, etc. for example? I'm sorry to say that, but you need to know that plsql is not a display language. That means you cannot create visual things with plsql. It is developed for business operations or handling some complicated logic with strong logic control statements. Besides, you can do some after SQL statements like longs, controls like constraints, some security things, and reusability with stored procedures. Why not the others? Actually, on the visual parts, you need to use other programming languages. Oracle also has some tools or languages for creating visual screens or reports, etc. You know the others already. Can you do these logics with Java, for example, or .NET? Yes, most probably you can do the same things with another language. So why you should choose plsql then? Since plsql works in database, it will be much faster than the other languages in this area. Besides, the other languages are not created for just data, but plsql is created for only data manipulation and for only Oracle database and by Oracle itself. This makes plsql really strong than the others on its own area. And there are some built-in functions that you cannot find in other programming languages. These functions are really helpful on your business. Also, since it works in the same database engine, there is so less network loss than the others. This also increases performance. Besides, there are its own methods to increase performance like bulk insert, etc. To sum up, like all the programming languages, plsql has also pros and cons for all programming languages to the others. If you need to manipulate some data, use plsql as much as you can. If you are using Oracle SQL in any programming language, any tool, or simply any environment, knowledge of plsql will give you a huge advantage against those who doesn't know it. PLSQL will provide you the power to make your applications more efficient, more robust, and more secure. So, I think this is enough to say why to choose PLSQL programming language. Actually, most of you will need to use because your company wants you to know that. But for the people who says why to choose, I can say that if you are using Oracle SQL already, and if you know PLSQL too, you will be better than your friends in your job and you will be paid more. So this is the end of this lesson. See you in the next lessons.